Now, I think most of us would agree that the best candidate should get the job every time. But I've been in recruitment for almost 15 years. And do you want to know a secret? That's not what happens. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why less qualified candidates get the offer instead of you. Let's go. Now, in a perfect world, the best candidate would go in, interview, they'd see their qualifications, and they'd hire them over less qualified candidates. That would be what's supposed to happen. That doesn't happen, but you know that already, didn't you? I'm about to give you 4 reasons why that doesn't happen and why people who are less qualified, less skilled, sometimes get hired over better candidates. I see it happen all the time, and it happens for a variety of reasons. Now, that first reason is they network better than you. You are focused on being the best candidate, the most qualified candidate, having the best background, but there are people out there who connect with others better. They build relationships, they network, and they leverage those relationships to get interviews. And then they have the inside track to getting the job. You see, the path of least resistance to getting a job is being an internal candidate, somebody who already works for the company, has demonstrated a track record of success. But the second path of least resistance is being a referral candidate, having a known commodity saying you should interview this person because they are great. And candidates who are referred in can often get hired over more qualified candidates. So if you apply for a job and you interview and you are fantastic, someone who is less qualified than you, but they network more effectively than you, well, they might get that job. The good news is you can also do this. You can also network. You can reach out to past colleagues and say, hey, I'd love to catch up. Let's grab coffee. Let's grab a 15-minute Zoom meeting. How are you doing? How's your company? Do you like it there? You know, I'd love to entertain an opportunity at your company. If you ever have an opening, I'd love to work with you again. You can also network, build relationships, reach out to existing relationships. And if you don't do it, somebody else is. The next reason why someone less qualified might get a job over you is they prepare better. So they practice common interview questions. They look at their background and they are prepared to sell themselves in the interview and talk about the impacts they have made at previous organizations. Now, some of you right now are watching this thinking, I am qualified and I am great at what I do and that should be enough. Brace yourself, it's not. What you need to do is you actually need to prepare to be able to interview. You need to prepare. You need to have answer to common interview questions. What's your greatest strength? What's your greatest weakness? Why are you looking for a new job? Why are you interested in this job? What would you bring to the table if we hired you into this company? What is your greatest career achievement? If you don't have answers to these questions when you go to interview, somebody else might. Preparation is the one thing we can all control. We can all control that when we go into a job interview, and if you are not prepared, somebody less qualified than you might be. By the way, if you're finding value in this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It tells YouTube I don't suck, it helps the channel a lot, it motivates me to make more videos like this, and if you are already willing to do all of that, then you might as well hit subscribe. The next reason why a less qualified candidate than you might get the job that you won't get is because they show passion. They show enthusiasm for the job. A lot of people say things like, can we normalize just working for a paycheck? Absolutely, you can certainly do that. But if you do that in the interview, you are not going to get the job. Because in all likelihood, they're going to go with someone who they feel is passionate about what they do. I've said this in tons of videos, but at the end of the day, if you were choosing someone to take care of something that matters for you, you're always going to go with a person who has passion and enthusiasm around it, with all things being equal. If you had a babysitter, 2 babysitters, right? And both of them are equally qualified. And one, when you ask them, hey, why do you want to babysit my kid? They go, for money, just for money. And the other one goes, well, I really love kids. I'm the oldest of 5, so I've always watched my brothers and sisters growing up, and it's just something I enjoy doing. Who are you gonna go with? You're gonna go with that person, so be that person. Another reason less qualified candidates are going to get a job over you is they don't make any IWMs. What is an IWM, you might ask? That is interview wrecking mistake. There are mistakes out there when you're interviewing that no matter how good the rest of your interview is, if you make one of these IWMs, interview wrecking mistakes, it is going to crater your chance at getting a job offer. So what are these IWMs? IWMs are saying things like, I don't get along with my current boss. That negativity, that's a big old IWM. What are other IWMs? It's not having an example when they ask you a question about your accomplishments. It's exaggerating. It's when you answer the question, you go on forever, but you don't actually answer the question they asked you. It could be talking bad about your previous company, previous boss, previous team. There are all sorts of things that are considered IWMs, and if you do one of these, but the person who is less qualified than you does not do one of these mistakes, they're going to get the job over you. Another thing that might happen that could help someone get the job over than you is they nail the first 3 minutes of the interview and the last 3 minutes of the interview because they are shown to disproportionately impact the outcome of an interview. So I made this video here. This video right here teaches you how to nail the first 3 minutes and the last 3 minutes of a job interview. That way you can get hired and not that person who is less qualified than you. So I'm done here, but I will see you over there.